I do want to go out to my co-anchor, Jessica Shambach. Jessica, I know you've been trying to get out to the scene of a place that I just haven't wanted to see today, Plaza Towers. This is some of the first video where the elementary school was, and we are being told, and you are there now, that this place has just been wiped away. Jessica just arriving on the scene right there.
Hey, Paul, I'm not sure if you just tossed to me. I
Yeah.
can't hear you right now. I was just trying to walk over and talk to some of these emergency crews about the situation here at Plaza Towers Elementary School. And you can see, I mean, just all of the destruction over my shoulder. You can see barely what's left of this elementary school. And sadly, there have been search and rescue efforts underway here. Not too long ago, we saw firefighters working so hard in one area over there with search dogs. And now I'm hearing from some of the men coming out of here that this may actually be recovery efforts at this point. I'm hearing that perhaps 40 students may be unaccounted for, and 2 janitors as well. Just talking to some of the guys who've been going through the neighborhoods and came over here to this school. From what they've seen, you know, it's very graphic. They're seeing very graphic things in there among the rubble of this elementary school. They did tell me that they had seen bodies of children, and that is something that nobody wants to hear. So it's a very dire situation here. I've seen so many people walking through this neighborhood with their heads hung down so low as they take a look around. I mean, just debris is everywhere, Paul. Driving up here, it took us 2.5 hours to get to this neighborhood that would normally take us maybe 30 minutes or so because of all the traffic. People were actually having to park their cars and walk in to try to get to their loved ones, to try to see their neighborhoods where their homes are, to see what they can find out, because traffic was such an issue. I actually have some people over here who walked in a couple of miles. You guys live in this neighborhood right now. How was your house?
It's all right, but it's got tree damage, a lot of tree damage.
And how far did you guys walk in to get to your neighborhood?
Probably about 2 miles, maybe.
At least from 134th and Western.
Whenever you came up to this, did your heart just sink? What was the feeling that went through your mind?
Our heart sank. My heart sank. Definitely. Seeing all this, it's just horrible.
It's unreal. Like, this is my home street. I grew up right here, went to this school. It's completely gone.
Did you guys know any of the students who may have been at this elementary school?
Not currently. From what I was told from my mom, that my cousin was going to this school, but we haven't heard any word from him about his whereabouts or anything.
Now, where were you guys whenever the tornado came through? You obviously were not at your house.
No, we were at her mom's in Mustang, and we just watched the tornado form on TV.
And what about neighbors or family members who live here in this neighborhood? Have you guys had a chance to find out how people around you that you know in this neighborhood, how they're doing?
For the most part, we've got, you know, update on our family and stuff, so.
Everything's mostly good with our family. I was worried about my dogs too after my mom had left. My boxer here got out, and she actually went down to my best friend's and somehow got in his room, and she was all right.
So your house is okay. Do you think you're going to be able to stay here tonight? I know that crews are trying to get a lot of people out of this neighborhood when night falls.
Yeah, we're probably not going to stay here tonight.
Yeah, more than likely not.
Well, you guys take care. Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it. You know, it's just a tough situation out here, Paul. It's hard to put it into words when you come out here. I mean, your heart just drops, and especially when you're talking about an elementary school here that had children inside, and you hear those numbers that 40 students may still be unaccounted for. I mean, it truly is heartbreaking in every sense of the word. I've seen so many different emergency crews coming through here. We even saw people with the FBI, with Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office, with Oklahoma City PD, different municipalities. We passed a medical examiner's vehicle that was coming into this neighborhood as well. You never want to see that, but unfortunately that is the situation that we are dealing with right now. I have some information about where people can go. There's just over my my shoulder, it's really difficult to see, but I mean, there's a steeple, a church over there, and there's a Dick's Sporting Good. My photographer's panning over just to see. If you look beyond that debris, you can barely see, but just to show you that it's not that far away, where people can go for food and shelter. It's at Southwest 19th and Eagle Road. There's a Dick's Sporting Good for food and shelter, but also any kids who need to be reunited with their parents, because I'm sure there's still some kids over there right now. I mean, parents trying to get into this area having a tough time just by thinking and looking at what we went through trying to get here, how many hours it took us. It is not easy to get up into these neighborhoods. They blocked it off. They almost didn't let us in, actually. They were just letting some people who lived here come into this neighborhood. But the kids who need to be reunited with their parents are there at that church at Southwest 19th and Eagle Road by the Dick's Sporting Good. Unfortunately, I don't have the name of that church right now. Search crews have been going through the houses in this neighborhood. It's hard to get a good gauge of just how big this is, but I can tell you, driving into this neighborhood, there was just debris everywhere. Some of the houses look like structurally they were fine, but debris all over the place. One person told me they had a toilet in their backyard that came from someone else's house, a trampoline in their backyard as well, just debris from who knows where that has been flown around. I mean, just everywhere you look, you see sticks, you see piles of debris and insulation, you see power lines that are down. It's really hard to swallow whenever you see this up close and personal firsthand. There are a lot of people who are walking through this neighborhood right now. I've tried to talk to some people. Some people said that they, were just coming up here to see what it looked like. That's exactly what emergency crews don't want you to do. They're trying to get people out of this neighborhood when night falls because they just believe it's too dangerous with all the debris here. I talked to one gentleman who said that he rode out the storm about 2 miles from this neighborhood, and he said for 20 minutes he could hear the tornado, that slow-moving, long-track, wedge tornado moving through. For 20 minutes he heard that freight train sound that so many of us, so many people describe hearing when a tornado comes through. For 20 minutes, you can only imagine the debris that and the damage, destruction that is around this area here and more. This is the Plaza Towers neighborhood right next to the Plaza Towers Elementary School, where again we are getting word from just some of the crews here who have been called in, some of the law enforcement crews. This is unconfirmed according to maybe the public information officers, but just the crews who've been walking around and talking to people, saying that 40 students may be unaccounted for, as well as 2 janitors there at the Plaza Towers Elementary School.